Let's talk a little bit about 2017. I'm responsible for giving the first two reports to the congregation. 2017, as you're about to hear from the finances, you're about to hear from the different departments, it was really a great year. We had our challenges in it, but man, in the end, financially and ministry-wise, and it's just all turned out fabulous. So I'm not going to take a lot of time talking about 2017, but we are going to talk about, from 2017, a look at 2018. I want to cast some vision for you as members and those people over there that deal with really just the reality of where we're going as a church. I think it's important that we all have the same vision. Yes? I think it's important that when I say something, when I say Big Mac, we all know that means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, right? And so we're going to talk a little bit about vision. And I think that a blessed life has 3 seasons. I think there's a season where you get it. You know, where you're just kind of like, oh, I get it. I understand that. And you accumulate it. This can be education. This can be, for a church, getting their first building or getting their first pastor or getting their first youth pastor. There's a season where you start to just really become proficient at giving it. Now, you're still getting it, but you're really better at giving it because there's more of it to give. There's more out there to be given. And if there's anything I think you guys are known for in our community and in the district, it's that. We're a giving church. You guys are generous with your time, with your resources, with your love. Our summer spectacular is not your grandma's VBS, and the camps we're involved in and youth conventions, things you're going to hear about tonight. This church is excellent at getting it and giving it. But then there's this third season I think we're actually ending into, and it's the season of multiplication. I'm not going to steal the thunder of other people that are reporting tonight, but some really exciting things are happening in our live stream. Sorry about that, deacons. Some things are happening with the new position. I was recently promoted to being the church planting director for the state of Michigan, for the Michigan district. Now, yay, but here's what that means to you. We all just got promoted to being the church planting directors of Michigan. I'm not doing this alone. I told them straight up that when there's a church that's going to be planted, that the Freedom Center would be there. If it's in Indian River or, Cadillac, these church missions trips that we've taken in the past, we're going to help people plant churches. Some of these guys, they're like 25 years old, they're starry-eyed, everything's going to be wonderful. They have no idea what they're in for. But we're going to show up with our trailers and our cotton candy machines and our vacation Bible school team and our outreach team, and Kevin's going to light it, and Dina's going to lead it, and Jason's going to make it fun, and the deacons are going to be there and look really official. It's going to be awesome, So congratulations, you've all been promoted to Church Planting Director Church. And let's talk a little bit about that, because I think that the Freedom Center is blessed. There's been a season of getting it, there's been a season of giving it, and now we're in the season of multiplication. The multiplication I'm talking about, and again, electronically, Josh, can I say one thing just numerically? Okay. So Josh has been heading up our live stream and running the studio in the great land of Oz, which is behind those walls up there. We had far more people watching us electronically this morning than we did sitting in our pews this morning or in our chairs. Far more. You'll hear more about that later on. We had people like Scott and Carol Rowley, former children's pastors, who are in Kazakhstan enjoying a church service from the Freedom Center. Several in North Carolina and Texas, people who moved away, people who lost contact. People who were in the emergency room were watching it in the emergency room, watching church in the emergency room. People that were in Texas for business and so on. So we are reaching a vast audience through that electronic medium, through radio. We're on now in 5 different states, 6 different stations. John, did I get that right? 5 states, 6 stations? Something like, give or take a state, yeah. So, we're out there. People are writing us letters from Nowheresville, New York, saying, hey, you ever thought about coming to New York? It's like, no, never thought about it. Love the ministry. It meant a lot to me. Right place, right time. So I want you to understand that I believe God has given us, as we've been going and getting it, God's been giving it, yes? But beyond that, I really think we're on the brink of something really amazing, and that is being a church that influences churches, leaders that influence leaders. And I just pray that the greatest years of the Freedom Center are in front of us and not behind us. I was at a funeral Thursday for Brother Drake. Alonzo Drake was the founding pastor of this church, and I met his wife for the first time. And it was at the Nazarene Church in Argentine. And you guys didn't turn my clock on, so I don't know how much time I have. But if you're doing that electronically, turn a clock on for me, please. And what happened was there was I just said, hey, my name's Jim. She goes, oh, I don't know you. I said, no, you don't, but I pastor the Assembly of God Church in Fenton. You'd have thought we were family. She was like, oh, and there's a line forming. She's holding on to him with one hand and me with the other hand and won't let go of either one of us. And she is so excited and so proud of you guys and all that stuff. So the Drakes were here for a short time from what I understand, but they still feel that connection. The Burks were here forever. Of course, Sister Burke is still alive and feels that connection as well. So that's our 2018. It's going to be a year of multiplication, so be prepared. Our children's ministry, our youth ministry, we barely missed losing a lot of staff members to multiplication. Other places are saying we want them to be our district youth directors, our district children's directors. And thank God none of our guys are credentialed, so it went no farther than that. So it was that close. So we are becoming, Freedom Center, you guys are becoming a planting, prototyping, mothering, mentoring, multiplying church for Michigan and, of course, beyond. We're still requested in Italy. We're requested in Oaxaca. We're requested all over the world. They want to see you guys be a part of what they're doing. You're valuable. You're an incredible group of people. I don't know if you know this or not. Like, I hope I'm not just saying this, but you guys are an incredible group of people, and you're thought of tremendously around the world, and everybody wants you to come to their place and be a part of it. So I'm going to think 2018 can be the greatest year of ministry for the Freedom Center ever, right? So we're going to do that. Let me tell you about number 2 is our missions report 2017. We supported in 2017 47 missionaries, 3 compassionate international children, and the FCMA missions on a monthly basis. The amount that goes out that's allotted from our general fund or our missions fund is $5,384 per month. In addition to that, people say, I want to give to a missionary that came to speak, or there's a missionary we supported because they came through, and we really like the Pasquales, so we give monthly to the Pasquales. That's in addition to all of that. And varying amounts for specific missionaries. And by the last 3 years, we have been able to feed 470,400 meals to kids in Haiti. And there are, 10 of them right there? 9 of them right there. We were just there last month, and I had a great moment as one of the kids said, hey, you, and they're trying to get your attention. He goes, you, and I'm like, you. He said, no. He goes, oh, so he was saying, I remember you. You're the guy with the fingers, So we have a reputation now for being people with fingers. So multiple trips were taken to Haiti, guys, throughout the course of 2017. What a great blessing. Pastor Samuel's school, we just recently gave several $1,000s to that project, putting a second layer and a roof on that school. Now there's 1,000 children in it. It's pretty amazing. Jacksonville, Florida, the trip that was supposed to go to Haiti, Hurricane Bubba came through and destroyed the Caribbean. And so our missions team diverted from Haiti and went to Jacksonville, Florida. And actually, Jeff and Kim Waltz, Kim's mother and father, were recipients of that. And so our team got to bless them and serve them for several days and get them out of that. And she's the one that just passed away 2 days ago. So one of the last, things that were in her life was you guys being a blessing there. And I think that's actually their house right there they're working on. We sent a team to Cuba. And I understand through Pastor Les that this year's Cuba trip in January is going to be co-ed. Is that true? Sure, he's not here to say no, so yep, that's true. We were in Rome working with our partners there in Italy, 60 nations under one roof. We were honored to present a young adult service for them, which was wonderful, and honored to present their missions emphasis Sunday. And the missions pledges for that month were 30% higher than a previous year in the history of the church. So your team did a great job there. We went to Romania and blessed kids and orphans. We went to Oaxaca, Mexico, and the FCMA trip did that. And that's me trying not to pass out blowing up a balloon. Everyone stands around and watches the gringo hit the ground. Look how red I am in that picture compared to my arms. I'm dying. Medical missions, optical. We had kids who were giving injections underneath people's kneecaps for inflammation because a doctor that was with us, Amazon doc, Jeff, I almost say his last name because it's being recorded, but was helping them to do injections. Indian River, our family ministries, you're going to hear more about that, but man, what an amazing trip to Indian River this year. Detroit, Michigan. Is that a kid sitting on a toilet? Anyway, we're going to move on from that one. Went to Los Angeles, again, worked with the Dream Center, and look at this, our own homegrown missionaries, Caleb and Corey Hubbard, on their way to China. We're scheduling a mission service for them, and our goal is tens of thousands of dollars and monthly support to get these kids out of here with them babies to someplace in Asia. And Alex and Christian Bradsaw also are now living in Haiti. That's them with their family. Maybe you can tell which ones are the Americans because they're making gang symbols in that one. Just to let you know, in 2018, we're going to be right now planning to going to Japan, back to Haiti, Cuba, Africa, and back to Rome. So if you're interested in missions and want to be a part of these trips, please see someone who knows something about those things. And and we'll be announcing them in the future as we go along. So that's my report for the night. You guys ready to start?
Good evening, everyone. My name is JD Wiegand, and this is Carrie Lay. We are with Fenton Challenge, and I just wanted to remind everyone here real quick where Fenton Challenge came from. First of all, Fenton Challenge was created in 2015, and at that point, we were looking for what's the next big outreach opportunity. What is the next big thing that the Freedom Center is going to have in order to reach more people? And in a boardroom in Detroit, we decided to come up with Fenton Challenge. And what we did was we asked people in our local area what it was that they wanted to do by posing the question, in 2016, I want to blank. We allowed them to fill out whatever answer it is that they wanted to do. Overwhelmingly, the top 3 responses that we got were, number 1, I want to get healthy. Number 2, I want to get my finances in order. And number 3, I would really love to spend more time with my family. So what we decided to do is create more events based around what it was that people wanted to do. And also, we take zero money from the church. We are a self-funded ministry. So before I progress, I just want to let you guys know a little bit more about that. First of all, what we have right here is the past. So the first event that we hosted was the Rave Run. Huge success. 280 people showed up that night. Next thing we had was I Can Adult, which was how we helped young adults really grow into adulthood. Standing room only in that event. Vision Conference was our next thing that we did. Entrepreneurs from all around Genesee County came out. We had about 100 people in attendance, and it was just an amazing success. Lace Up for Learning was the first event that we hosted with the community rather than just ourselves. So that was us and Dr. Wax Orthodontics. Paddle for Paws was the next one after that, where we helped raise funds for local adoption clinics for pets. And that was about 150 different kayakers. People brought out their pets. A lot of fun that night. The most recent event that we did that was a huge success was the Fenton Shark Tank, where we had presenters between the ages of 18 to 32 all come out and present their idea in front of a panel of judges. And it was awesome. A lot of amazing connections ended up happening through that. A lot of local entrepreneurship was stirred, and it was a huge success. And none of this could have ever been done without the help of our leadership. So I would just like to personally take the time now to thank all of our leadership for what they did to help us and how it is that we got to this point. You know, you can go fast by yourself, but you can go a lot farther when you're together. And now, to talk about the present, I have my assistant right here, Carrie Lay, and she's going to tell you more about what Fenton Challenge has going on right now.
Thank you. So I just want to highlight some things that we're currently doing to make connections and build bridges and create community, because that's really our goal. Like JD said, we host the breakfast, and that's where several local business owners get together once a month, and they talk about how they can grow individually, but also how we can partner together and grow the community. And we've seen some amazing fruit from that. We'll also be hosting the Vision Conference and the Rave Run again here very soon, and we're already getting so much feedback from that, and it's really exciting. Some new events. We're doing the March Madness event, and we're very excited about this because this is a way for us to just build relationships and friendships and get people from the community into this building and just enjoying basketball and eating nachos, and who doesn't love nachos? So that's going to be great. The Mother's Day celebration, we're really excited for this because we really just want to love on and pamper and serve some moms in this community, and we'd like to partner with the Fenton Center of Hope and some of the mommies that they get to work with, and Clara's Hope and the moms they get to work with, and just show them that we love them and appreciate them. Another thing we do is we call it the TFC Ministry Blessing, and that's where we pick a ministry a month and we just do something for them to bless them because we really appreciate all the connections they're already making, and we just want to love on them and bless them as well. Last but not least is Coffee to Community, and this is where we also once a month pick different businesses or local schools that we just bring coffee to, and we make that face-to-face interaction, again, letting them know that we appreciate them and what they do, and just another way to bless our community and create community.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Love that. Finally, Fenton Challenge will no longer be known as Fenton Challenge by the end of 2018. Instead, we are progressing into a new ministry title known as ECO, Engaged Community Organization. As you can tell from my shirt right here, we are beginning to move into this brand new form of branding. And it's exciting to see the way they're going to be changing this because Fenton Challenge was so restricted by the name and the area that we can impact. And by switching it to Engaged Community Organization, we can impact a much larger area, including anywhere around the world that we so see fit. And so our three major focuses are going to be in building community, which is going to be designing groups such as the breakfast, which we've talked about, also running groups and different health groups. And then secondly is going to be building relationships. Those are the important relationships in your life, such as, your marriages, how to handle kids, your dating life, anything along those lines that revolve around the important relationships in your life. And then finally is our building yourself. We want to see people really dive into their own selves and building themselves up, whether that be our entrepreneurs conferences where they come in, develop themselves and their businesses, or they get a chance to go to any of our major conferences that we have. So it's exciting to see how it is that people are going to be able to build themselves. We hope that you guys are just as excited about this as we are, and we look forward to being able to serve you in the future. Thank you so much.
Okay, Fenton Center of Hope. We've had an excellent year here in 2017, and I'm going to be really going through these information and slides quickly. So afterwards, we're going to have follow-up time for any kind of questions and things. In the Center of Hope, we used to be known as just the baby closet or the food pantry. In 2016, we actually became a separate nonprofit organization. So what that's meant for us is being able to minister to the community in many different ways. And really, it comes down to our process. When we find somebody in need or they're referred to us, it all starts with an interview. We do those in person. We don't do those over the phone. We find that as we're able to uncover the needs, that we're able to get to that next point as far as addressing their immediate needs. That may be the food pantry. It may be baby closet. But what we're looking to do is a lot more than just take care of the basic immediate needs. We get into building that trust and relationship with them, and then we're looking to provide the solutions for that root cause, the underlying causes of hunger or needing items. So we focus on that. And in the food pantry, 2017, we actually moved into our brand new building. And thank you everybody for the prayers that you've had on that. That's literally 7 years of prayers that we're waiting on God's timing, and I thank everybody for the prayers on that. We've increased a lot. Here's some pictures of the new food pantry. We went from a single car garage to a 1,500 square foot building. We offer fresh produce now. We have meat. It's not just a box of food that people are getting. It's literally they're going through like a grocery store. They're choosing what they want. And the important thing with each one of those interactions, we're also looking for those underlying needs, praying with people and finding solutions for those. As we go through, we had some big events. 150 Thanksgiving meals. So that's what we were able to provide this year. That's a huge undertaking there. We were also we were the only non-Flint church to take part of Flint Convoy of Hope. We're also doing that again this year and going down to Detroit for Detroit Convoy of Hope. But that's what 10,000 bags of groceries look like when you're feeding 2,500 residents in one day. So great team did that. In the baby closet, again, we have expanded our facility. We're open now 4 days a week instead of just once a month, and we've got people walking in daily, on that. So ministering to the moms in need. Diapers alone, we've given out over 100,000 diapers free of charge to moms in need. And about 22,000 of those we were able to bless Clara's Hope family. So we're glad to do that. As we move forward, this is like what a cramped backroom closet in Route 66 used to look like. We'd have to unload it every third Saturday of the month, load it back up. Now we're in a facility that we've got volunteers like Carol Hool here and others, many. But literally hundreds of hours of volunteer hours go into our facility monthly. As we're going through, we're doing life skills classes, cooking, financial, budgeting, all those kind of things. We have a big fundraiser once a year, that's Chef Showdown. It's been almost a year. It's coming up again on May 3rd. Vision for 2018. We've been approved to be a pregnancy resource center. That's going to be opening this year, so we're going to be speaking life into the unborn and showing the value of that. We're also becoming a literacy learning center. Many of the kids that we run across have reading issues, so we'll be able to help with that. Another part of our ministry, it's separate from Fenton Center of Hope, but it's benevolence. We talk about Jeff Waltz. We work daily with Jeff Waltz on distributing funds to people in need. So that's eviction assistance, utility assistance, helping people with car issues, all of those kind of things. But in each and every interaction, the key is the interview and building that relationship. So we're really looking for those times, and we thank all of you for your prayers and support.
Thank you, Bob. Oh, there's Charlie.
All right, thank you for that. It was awesome. We're here to just share our heart and our vision for Freedom Child Development Center. I'm Marla, I'm the director. This is Amanda, she's my assistant director, and she's going to start with some things that people are saying about us in the community.
So we wanted to start by telling you what parents are saying, people who experience us or who have been through our doors in the last few years. I like this one because it's really honest. I recommend them if you don't mind a little religion. I'm not Christian in any way, but my son loves going here and I feel comfortable with them. We are very thankful for the support and love each staff member gives to our son. He has separation anxiety and they have been so helpful in making it easiest for him. And then this one here is, I love the staff, the atmosphere, the academics, the amount of prayer, and how clean, up-to-date the big facility is. Thank you for this opportunity. We couldn't ask for a better place for my kids to be since we both have to work, which is true for many, many of our parents. And then the part that's really exciting is what the early childhood community is saying. They say things like, we've never seen a center grow as quickly as yours. And they say things like, if the focus of this center stays the same, it will be the premier center in the region. And these are things that are said by people who have no bias to us. They're by people who see centers in and out of counties, and they say big things. And the best one is they ask if they can record what we do so that they can train other centers because they've never seen anything like it.
So that's so exciting. And it's truly an honor and a privilege every morning to come in and open these doors at 6 a.m. I'm not the one that opens the doors at 6 a.m., but I'm honored and privileged I have done it. But something that we've trained our staff in, and I remind them often, is every day when you put that key in that lock and you turn the lock and you walk in, that you expect miracles today. And what's so cool about it is that we're kind of setting the stage for those miracles to happen in all the ministries that are happening that day, because we're coming in with expectation every day for the kids that are in our care. We do more than just babysitting. We love those kids. Some of our children are here 60 to 50 hours a week, depending on their parents' schedule. So that's how long we're here, 60 hours a week. It's a ministry that does a lot. Some of the opportunities that we've had to minister to the community that are from different cultures, different religions, different backgrounds. We've been able to pray with moms who are coming in because they have to work and they're dropping off their precious 6-week-old baby. And our infant room staff has said, you know what, I'm going to pray for you. Not, can I pray for you? They've actually said, I'm going to pray for you. And they've said, wow, that made such a difference in my day. We've taken a single mother who came in and said, I'm so hungry I haven't even eaten because I don't have enough to feed myself and I don't have enough gas to get to work. So we're like, all right, let's go to the gas station. Let's go to Tim Hortons. So we're doing more than just babysitting. We're teaching children. We are preparing them for kindergarten. We love that we get to reach our community in those ways. We are a self-funded ministry / business in the church, and we also contribute money back into in our church. Rewind 4 years ago, we started with, I looked at our sign-in sheet from 4 years ago, and we had under 20 kids enrolled in our program. Today, we have more than 120 kids enrolled in our program. We have children from 6 weeks of age all the way through latchkey. So Fenton Schools drops kids off here, and they pick them up here at our door now, which is so awesome. That was an uphill battle. We also have we're a Great Start to Quality Center, which I don't have time to explain now because I went over, but so that's just an extra set of standards that we have to reach, but we want to because we want to be the best. We represent Christ, and we want to do all we can do to be the best that we can be for the children in our care. Our vision for the future is to reach more families. Through the Great Start to Quality program, we're getting ready to launch an oral hygiene program with our children, where all the children in our program will get their teeth brushed every day. That will not be an easy feat, but it will happen. And we just want to continue to grow and reach more families and share God's love with them. So that's it.
All right. Hi, guys. Before I begin, I just want to say thank you to the two ministries that went before me because they are really orphan prevention. So that's a really big deal. They do a lot of things, so we don't have to. So it's really, we thank you. Clara's Hope helps families achieve success in foster care and adoption. Why? God's heart is for the orphan. God's heart is for the lost. God's heart is for the least of these. As a church, we cannot ignore those who God never ignores. If we help the family become whole, the child will have a chance to heal in a safe place and have an opportunity to know Jesus Christ. It makes me cry. I get kids in my house, and they're like, hey, I know that kid. And I had a child today in my house that saw my mayor prayer card, and he said, I know her. Why is she on your fridge? And I said, because I'm praying for her. And he said, do you know her? And I said, no. And he's like, what? Why is she on your fridge? I said, because I'm praying for her. Yeah, so we give kids a chance to know Jesus Christ. And everywhere that we serve is a mission field. What do? We do a lot of things. This is on all of our things. It's on our website. It's everywhere. And I'm just going to go into how we do that. Who is our staff? There are two of us. Myself, I'm the founder and director. I'm a part-time employee of Clara's Hope, 10 hours a week paid, and I'm a full-time volunteer. Mostly, almost only full-time. I oversee the overall mission, vision, and direction of Clara's Hope. I do all the social media, marketing, community relations, fundraising, volunteer recruitment, and engagement. I also mentor foster and adoptive families as needed. Erin Deal is our program coordinator. She is a full-time social worker employed with Clara's Hope. That is her job. She is the primary contact and support for our foster and adoptive families. She works one-on-one with the families in their areas of need, including, but not limited to, paperwork, questions about the foster care process. She attends court and other appointments with families. She assesses their needs, and she helps them find resources. She tracks all the financials for Clara's Hope, and she does all of the administrative details because we do not want me doing that. All right, who does Clara's Hope work with? We work with local foster and adoptive families, local foster care agencies in Genesee and Livingston County. Every single foster care agency and adoption agency in these counties welcomes us. We are invited by the government to be part of the process. That's a big deal. Local foster and adoptive support groups, local churches, outside of the Freedom Center, we're a cross-community connector, local businesses, and local nonprofit support organizations. How do we do what we do? We coordinate or provide the following: family gatherings 8 to 10 times a year. I am dressed like this because I got out of the pool at 4 o'clock with 30 kids and parents, and got home at 5 as a family gathering. We do trauma parenting, therapeutic services. We connect the diapers to the people from the food pantry and Center for Hope. We give out cribs and beds. We distribute donated items. 135 meals were delivered to foster and adoptive families locally through Clara's Hope. That's amazing. It's you guys. House cleanings, volunteer services, there's all sorts of stuff. Looking to the future, we're praying for the following things. Financial stability, because you know Clara's Hope is 100% self-funded. We had an amazing auction in the beginning of February. For those of you who helped, we appreciate it. Over $55,000 raised. We are looking to hire a second social worker to work in coordination with Aaron. We are praying for a volunteer coordinator. We are praying for a fundraising coordinator. We are praying for an administrative assistant. And always, we need many more volunteers for meals, cleanings, light repair work. And just a few testimonies from our families. Just knowing that we're not walking this path alone. Every foster parent needs a safety net, and that is Clara's Hope. Practical help with things like training, therapy, school support, advice, a listening ear. Also providing opportunity to build new friendships with other families who are walking this path and get it. Support all around, from providing dinners, going to court with you, relaying information regarding trainings, and best of all, friendship. The biggest thing for us has been help with navigating the system. Having someone go to court with us and explain what's happening and access a knowledgeable support network where we can pose our questions about kids, bio parents, agency policies, etc. We'll be over there. Thanks for your help.
Thank you, Tami.
Okay, here we go. Mark and set, go. So TFC Family Ministry, we are a threefold ministry. We reach kids, we impact families, and we affect the community. Next thing is me and my wife, we do this ministry together. Sarah Tottingham is our volunteer coordinator. She sends out all the scheduling and all that kind of stuff. Every week, we have about 80 monthly volunteers that serve over 300 kids on a Sunday inside this ministry. Let's talk about reaching kids. Moving right along, we have Freedom Friends. Freedom Friends is our special needs ministry with Carrie Panlander and the Burtons. They do an amazing job reaching our special needs ministry. If you notice that, the second picture right there, that is them actually in the room. We don't segregate, we infuse. They're with everybody else. The nursery, you have the Stokes. They do an amazing job. Matt and Michelle Stokes have been with us for a lot of years. Moving right along to the clubhouse with the Stotts. They do a fantastic job in there, having fun, rotation, snacks, craft, message, lesson time. They feed into the kids every single Sunday. And the Route 66, if you notice, we change the stage every single Sunday. We theme it out. The stage will look different every Sunday. We do a lot of small groups in Route 66 as well. As you'll see, there's a few pictures behind me of small groups happening. That's where the big church of 300 kids gets down to a 7 to 12 kid level, and they make friends. They disciple one-on-one right there. And also Junior Bible Quiz. We're reaching kids again with Junior Bible Quiz. These kids, we have about 20-some kids in Junior Bible Quiz right now. They're going on to states, and a very good chance they'll go to nationals, which is the first time. I don't know if we've ever had a national team here at the Freedom Center. They're kicking butt and taking names, and I can say that at church because that's what they do. So anyway, also Kids Camp, reaching kids, Kids Camp. I've never seen so many kids actually come to know the Lord as I have at Kids Camp the last 4 years I've been part of it. It's an amazing opportunity. They get to, hear the gospel and witness and all that kind of stuff. It's an amazing, cool thing. Moving right along, Kids Camp is awesome. Impacting families. Impacting families, last year we did a thing, kids baptism. What impacts a family more than kids baptism? Your kid gets to know Christ, they get baptized, that is changing the family culture at home. We are impacting families with kids baptism, and they're growing. The next thing we did last year is the Icon Parent Conference. First time we ever did this, we had speakers from all over the state. We had a couple hundred people here. Kathy Morrissey, it goes on and on and on. We talk about sex trafficking from A to Z. It was an amazing thing. We're impacting families. Also, this family missions trip we went on, we put $5,000 into Joy's Fellowship Church in Indian River. We re-roofed it. We cut down 11 trees. We redid the kids ministry area. We absolutely, they had 40 square shingles. We redid that. We repainted their main auditorium, redecorated their main auditorium. Hasn't been touched in 30 years. You can imagine what that looks like. You don't need imagination. But we did that this last year. $5,000 we put into that. Awesome building. Impacting families, growing kids God's way is one of the things we do. It's like a cool, amazing class. You really get to become a better parent if you take this in class. We haven't put it out to everybody because the classes fill up so fast, but we're hoping to change that in the near future. Growing kids God's way. Also, families, you guys need to hang out with each other. Family camp was part of that opportunity. You guys can go fish and hunt, and kids, just like s'mores, that's just an amazing thing. We build community, impacting families by putting families together in the Freedom Center. Next thing we're going to do is affect the community. I'm going really fast. Affect the community, right? We do a lot of things. I mean, I wish I had 10 minutes. All right, affect the community. What do? Summer Spectacular. It's an amazing, stinking awesome thing, right? We have 400 to 600 kids. This is our 4th year, going into our 5th year of doing Summer Spectacular. Kids from all over the community come. It's an incredible, absolutely awesome thing that we do to impact the families. of our Impact the Community. Also, the next thing, small little thing, Big Pumpkin Fest. It's a very cool thing. 2,000 to 5,000 people show up here, and we do big things. We pumpkin bowling, launching, all that kind of stuff. And also, God gave us this awesome thing with inflatables. We get to go to schools. We get to go to Grand Blanc schools, do stuff for free. We get to be part of the schools. It's an amazing thing that we get to do with these inflatables. So we are in the community. Next thing that we do is also giving, missions giving outside of ourselves. We're not just about us, and all these things that we do for us, obviously, but we want to give outside of ourselves. One of the things we did last year is BGMC, Boys and Girls Missionary Challenge. Our goal for BGMC was $500. I thought that was awesome because their normal monthly offering is $100. I'm like, that's 5 times. That's great. Guess what these kids did? $1,780 from kids ministries doing chores to support missionaries all over the world with BGMC. Another thing that we did for Impact in the Community is Summer Spectacular. We gave 12,500 items to Center of Hope. That's all the food that we donated to the food pantry. Another thing that we also did is $1,100 we did for feeding kids in Haiti, right? It's an amazing thing. So $1,800, which is 3,600 meals, and they said it couldn't be done. I'm done. Check this out. Find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. 6 seconds.
Drop the mic.
I'm done. Yeah,
Drop
baby.
the mic.
You said it couldn't be done.
Good evening, everyone. So going back to this, my wife and I are over the small group environments of the Freedom Center, which is Lifegroups and iGrow. I don't want to paint this great, good, only that picture. I want to paint an honest picture of where we're at. So that starts with where we are. Right now, iGrow, we have 8 different environments, 97 overall people, 82 we have as unique. So we did a 15%, like people that may be double enrolled in classes, stuff like that. Life groups, 11 different environments, 107 overall, 91 unique people for 173 total people enrolled in deliberate discipleship programs at the Freedom Center. But that also doesn't include D teams and Encounter and whatnot. So there's a number that I want to stick in your head. 16%. That's the number of people that come on a Sunday morning that are deliberately involved in discipleship at the Freedom Center. I think we could all agree that needs to be higher. These are some of our environments in the meantime. So we've got men's groups, women's groups, big classes, small classes. These are all the different kinds of things that we have going on right now. Very happy with that. The new mantra of discipleship of small group environments at the Freedom Center is that the deliberate discipleship of the people of Freedom Center is a huge deal. It's a huge deal. And the more seriously we take that, the better and more impactful we're going to be outside the 4 walls of this building. So where we're going. We have a 2-year plan. In that 2-year, we want to see 15 iGrow classes with 150 enrolled in that. And for life groups, we want to see 20 different environments with 200 people enrolled in that, for a total of 350 people, which would be 30%, if the numbers stay the same, which I hope everybody wants to see Sunday morning numbers grow. So that would be 30% of people that are deliberately involved in discipleship areas of the church. How we're going to do this? Increase marketing and promotion. So fill months, it's a big deal. We're going to have life group leaders out there promoting, doing wonderful things. Oh, no, sorry. Consistent training, development. We did a lunch. We had about 20 people that were interested in becoming life groups and iGrow teachers. Very excited about that. Retreats, community building. You can't represent, you can't recreate what you don't have. So life group leaders, iGrow teachers, having community. Reorganizing of environments. We want people to know what they're getting into. Community partnerships. Let's do stuff outside the church, it's good. Listening to and communicating with our leaders. That I can't express how important that is. We want to listen to our teachers and to our life group leaders. And then one of the things that we actually found kind of surprising was that the child care development, there's a lot of people that don't join life groups because there isn't childcare. So we're going to change that. Yeah. These are the ones that we've kind of keyed in on what we want to do. Men's and women's groups, life skills, sermon notes, how to evangelize. We should be teaching that. So we're going to start moving into some of those directions, all for the purpose of small groups environment being a powerful force inside and outside the church building. So that's the goal. That's the goal with everything that we do. If you guys have questions, sorry, been sick this week. You can come see my wife and I down at the table. So beat
Nice
that,
work.
Pastor Les.
Yeah.
56 seconds left.
Ian Perry, our young adult department leader.
All right, thank you everybody for your time. My wife told me I have to say how beautiful she is. So take a moment for that. So I am the director of the Young Adult Ministry here at the Freedom Center, and for those of you who aren't aware, I figured I'd put the vision out in front of your face. Encounter aims to give young adults the opportunity to advance from adolescence to adulthood and take those places of influence by encountering God, encountering people, and being prepared for the next steps of life. I talked to my leaders this past Wednesday about the great privilege that we have to create a culture of young adults. The next leaders of the church are at Encounter right now. The next pastors and evangelists and prophets and teachers and presidents and board members, they're there. And we have the unique privilege of getting to interact with them and create a culture where certain aspects of biblical community is normal. So how do we do that? So Encounter, we actually don't receive any funds from the general fund, so all giving is explicitly from Monday night offerings or anything above and beyond. We think that that's really important. We're creating a culture of, you're going to hear that word a lot, culture, but we're creating a culture of giving, that if we put on an event, Labor Day, for the 4th of July, we put on a worship night, that comes from what we give. That's part of what if we believe that, Labor Day event that's worth putting on, then we got to give the money to make sure that gets put on. We remind them that Jesus is utterly amazing. He's worth sharing, and that's why we give, so that we can share him to a young adult community. So in 2017, we averaged about 65 people per week, actually 64.5. I can't find a half person anywhere, but 64.5. This year, with some bad weather in January, we're at about 55, but we spiked as high as 80. So attendance is healthy. We're good. In addition to normal giving, we will also be adopting a cause in 2018, similar to the Freedom Center has adopted. We're going to feed 1 million kids in Haiti. In the coming months, we're going to announce that through Encounter that we're going to be adopting a cause similar, just to kind of drive the congregation together, that we're fighting for one cause, that it's not just Fenton, it's not Linden, it's not Genesee County, that the gospel is the world. And we believe that, and we want them to all buy into that. So here's some pictures of, Monday night. I'm sorry if you're here. I didn't know you were going to be here, and you're in the pictures. Monday nights are the beginning of our week. It's a great privilege to see a community of young adults that genuinely love each other. They pray for each other, they minister with one another, and they're invested in each other. In Hebrews, it says to not forsake the gathering of one another, to spur one another on to love and good works, to exhort one another. And that's what Encounter is. Encounter is a place where they can do all of these things. They can exhort each other and love on each other. And you can see by the pictures, they seem to enjoy each other, So Encountering God, we also offer small group environments. We started 2017 with just 2. We're up to 4 now. We actually average 40% of the people that come on a Monday night go to small group environments. That's huge. 40%. Yeah, that's it's amazing. Each Bible study only studies using the Bible. That's the rule. We don't use additional books. We want young adults that take God's word seriously. So only the Bible. That's what's taught through these small groups. We are providing examples not just of how to study the Bible, what biblical community looks like. That's what we're doing through these environments. And this year, we're going to be launching our first non-leader-led small group with the heart that we would be able to launch even more and just expand that you can come on a Monday, but it's becoming an expected behavior to be involved, to produce, to do things within a church community. I Can Adult. So this is our adolescence to adulthood environment. It was initially launched as a monthly event for an I Can Adult brunch in 2017. The numbers have not been where we believe they should. We're at about 10 per month. We know that it's a great opportunity to invest, to show young adults how to do the budget or work on a car or file their taxes or take care of themselves. And we believe in it. So we're going to continue to do that. In 2018, we're leveraging relationships outside of the church, non-church going leaders, to come into the church, into a building they wouldn't otherwise go to, and teach on how to change a tire or how to work out. And we're building relationships with those people so they're walking into a church and seeing the gospel and seeing how much this great community loves one another. And we're doing that, and we're so excited for the future of this, because we know that through this, we are pushing young adult men and women to be the people that God has called them to be. And this is, I cannot wait to see what 2018 has for Icon Adult, for the future of our small group environments and the Monday nights. So that's all I had. And if you have any other questions, I'm the table with the candles. So, thank you.
Lit candles.
I'm not Ian, by the way. I have to redeem myself from whatever that Monday night was. My name's not Ian. So creative arts, I make up one half of creative arts. I'm over the music and the worship and the sound that comes off the stage. And then Kevin, where's Kevin? Back here. Just wave your hand so everybody knows who you are. That's Kevin. He makes up the other half. The technical, the visual, the big picture stuff. So that's us. I'm going to talk a little bit about what creative arts does and what we want to do in the future. Sometimes what we do gets lost in translation. Sometimes people are like, why is there a rock band on stage? Why are there lights? Why is there a 6-foot man sitting on a box playing a Johnny Cash song? Well, this is why. We create environments where people can gather and they can openly encounter God within the expression of music and creativity. And we point people to the beauty of Jesus. We believe that art is a universal language that God can use to speak to any heart, no matter the circumstance, no matter where they are. So we're communicating the same message as Pastor would, it's just in a different format. In 2017, did a lot of cool stuff, started a lot of cool stuff. We expanded our teams with more volunteers to help see the church vision fulfilled, help develop people into their giftings. So specifically students, stuff like music, video, photography, film, writing, art, things like that. We partnered with the Livestream department with Josh Wiegand to help develop a more valuable experience. Some people can't make it to church because of reasons. There's a new baby, they're sick, they're at a doctor's appointment or whatever it is, and Josh will talk more on that in a bit. We presented one of the most impactful Easter productions, and we were challenging people to break the cycle of average living. How many were at Easter this year? Yeah, awesome, cool. And then we started to develop a deeper culture of worship and praise through monthly worship nights, and I will talk more about that in just a sec. This year, priorities are the same, and they consist of new things as well. So we're going to continue to develop leaders, volunteers, etc., to present the best resources possible for you guys and for new people coming in, just the church in general. And we're going to continue to mentor and teach people creative skills, those that are eager to learn and help invest in the church. Like I said, we want to provide you guys with excellence, and we want to provide the broader church with excellence. Kevin wants to do a creative conference, which is pretty cool. And I mean, I want to help him, so it just, you know what I mean. We want to help inspire churches and work with them in their creative endeavors. We see a lot of people come in here and they're like, wow, that's a huge screen. Look at all the lights, look at the sound, it sounds awesome. So we want to help them get to that point. I would like to develop and launch a worship school to help equip the local church. Good musicians are really hard to find, and I think I'm just done sitting around and waiting for them to come to me. So I'm going to go with the if you build it, they will come mentality, and hopefully they'll come, because I'm playing every week, and as fun as that is, there's an opportunity for somebody else to come up. And then the worship nights. Who was here Friday? Yeah, so good, right? Yeah. Thank you, Miss Pat. Always, yeah. If you've never been, it's not about feelings or emotions or, even the music, really. It's more about honoring God and just meeting him. And in turn, he meets us where we are. And I don't know, it's just, you walk out of the room a different person. So that's why we do those, because a half hour on a Sunday morning sometimes just doesn't quite do what an hour and a half, 2 hours on a Friday night would do. And then the specialized events with Easter, Christmas, summer series. We want to continue to do that and make that. Lost my train of thought. You know what I'm saying. We're going to make it good. And then, just real quick, 2018, I don't know why. I didn't get a word or anything. I don't have any evidence for this, but I really feel like 2018, there's something different on this year, like Dina was saying earlier. And I don't know if that's because of Livestream or if that's a book or a sermon that pastor's going to write or VBS or JD or whatever, but, eco. But I think this is the year that we're going to be put out there, whatever that means, and we're going to help the local church. So, that's it. Somebody help me.
Don't drop the mic.
Thank you very much. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Pastor Jim's other son, and I'm the father to his grandson. So that's what people know me for. So I'm in charge of the social media, marketing, and live stream at the Freedom Center. I'm going to take the next 5 minutes to explain to you why this is important. Stats on social media. The average person spends 116 minutes each day on social media platforms, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter. 92% of all people ages 23 through 37 use social media, and 80% of adults overall. Only 28% of people ages 23 through 37 attend church, while other generations range between 43 and 52%. So 92% of people ages 23 to 37 are on social media, only 28% are attending church. 57% of churchless Americans would prefer a different introduction to the church rather than a Sunday morning invite. So people that are coming to the church for the first time, they'd rather go to an event, they'd rather see it on live stream, they'd rather see a social media post. They want some other introduction to the church before walking through those doors. So this is important. 92% of people are on social media that are ages 23 to 37. Only 28% are coming to church. We need to reach them in ways that they've never been reached before. We need to go to where they're already spending their time, which is social media. A big part of that is live stream. You've heard people talk about it a little bit tonight. So 2 weeks ago, we started live streaming on Facebook Live. We had just originally been doing only live stream. We started doing Facebook Live. I'm happy to announce tonight that today's service, there was 1,100 people watching on live stream. So, pretty crazy number right there. Adults on a Sunday morning, 700 probably in the auditorium, 1,100 online. Those are unique visitors. That's not 600 people watching it once and then they have 500 of them watching it again. That's 1,100 different people watching the service, whether that be for 3 minutes, 5 minutes. It was really cool today. People were saying they're watching from Kazakhstan, they're watching from Arizona, they're watching from Colorado, they're watching from Alpena, just all over. We had like 60 comments on the live stream. It's awesome. We haven't even told anybody that we're doing it. We literally just started hitting play and people are watching it. So it's going to get big. It's going to get really big. I created this little video for you to show you what live stream used to look like and what it currently looks like, because we've invested a lot of money into live stream this year, and I want you guys to see your investment. So this is what it used to look like when Pastor would preach.
Hey,
one angle, color doesn't really look right.
Just stand right there.
Camera's shaky.
Everybody in this room
He's talking about my mom.
has several things in common. This would be one of those things. You have absolutely no idea what it's like.
It's okay. It's not awesome. It's only one angle.
She has a grace on her that makes it look much easier than it really is.
Definition, it's not
People
really
come to me
the
with certain
greatest
things, they go to
definition.
her
It's
with
not
certain
HD.
things. As she leads the staff, as she's a brilliant wife. Brilliant.
This is what his message currently looks like.
Guys,
There's multiple
Peter's not
angles.
he didn't keep his promise.
When he
didn't go to
talks
prison.
about his notes
He
are
didn't
actually
die
on
with
the
him,
screen. You can follow
and
along
it's
with
the
them.
worst thing he's ever done in
Read
his entire
them.
life.
Notice he's on the
And,
stage right now. We're
After
cutting to
Jesus'
somebody that's there
resurrection,
taking
the women
notes.
go to anoint what they
Just
believe is
kinda like
Jesus' dead body, but his
interactive a little
body's been
bit.
resurrected,
Don't
and they're met by
mind
an
the person
angel.
sitting next to him
And the
that's
angel gives
sleeping.
this
That's
command
normal.
to Mary and what they call the other Mary.
There you
he
go.
says, but go tell his disciples.
There's some
and
notes. That's just from a couple of weeks ago.
Are you getting this? Peter's not just done a bad thing. Peter's done something that's disqualified him from a position in ministry. He's denied, Judas betrayed him.
All right, now we're going to go
Peter
to
denied
worship.
him.
This is what worship used to look like. People would worship the great shadow. Nobody knows who that is or what's going on. I've made this painfully long. It's at least 40 seconds long. It doesn't change angles. It doesn't move. It doesn't sound, but this is what when people would log on to a live stream and say, I wonder what the Freedom Center looks like on a Sunday morning, this is what they're getting. It's not really an accurate presentation of what a Sunday morning really looks like. This is what it currently looks like. This was during communion a couple weeks ago. So notice multiple different angles. Everyone's walking around because they're taking communion. For those audio files, I don't know if you noticed, but it sounds a lot better than the first one does. We were recording in mono. We're now doing stereo. It's being mixed professionally on a huge board. So it sounds way better. It looks way better. It's way more appealing than it used to be. It's a better, accurate presentation of who we are as a church.
You've always been here with me. The God who's full of grace. Oh, what a friend, Jesus.
All right, so that's what it looks like now. I'm already out of time. Just know that it takes a lot of people to run live stream on a Sunday morning. If you want to volunteer, we would love to train you and help. We just need people. If you have working arms or working legs, we can use you. So if you want to volunteer, it would be awesome. It's like one Sunday a month, and we can train you in anything. Lastly, where we're headed in 2018, we're going to continue to get better at live stream. Like I said, we just launched on Facebook 2 weeks ago. We haven't advertised it at all. We're going to continue to make that platform larger. We're going to start doing podcasts, not just the sermon, but like specific leadership podcasts. We're going to be doing like a behind the sermon series with my dad, where he can break down the sermons every week into like more in depth than his 25 minutes that he gets, his 35. He's supposed to have 25, the 35 that he chooses to get, like I'm doing right now. Develop and grow a social media leadership team. I don't want to be the only person running social media. I want other people to be helping me run that as well. Enlarge our social media presence and advance the kingdom in new and evolving ways. Like I said, the people are still out there and they're still hungry for Christ. They're just in different places, and we need to present the same message that's always been presented, but package it a little differently and send it to where they're actually at right now. So as social media changes, we'll change with it. Right now we're on all the platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. As new platforms emerge, we'll make sure that we're on the forefront of those platforms. And yeah, there we go. Minute and a half over, sorry.
All right, so in the beginning of 2017, we started doing Sunday night services instead of Wednesday night services. Wednesday night has always been, I've been here for 20 years, and it's always been our big outreach night for youth. What we did is we switched it because everybody's playing sports ball on Wednesday nights. They have to practice, they have to whatever. So now that we have that on Sunday nights, that's been one of the major transitions. Everything has shifted. The church has actually adjusted for us to do that as well. So the transition has been absolutely amazing. There's been many, many testimonies of adults who are now able to be youth leaders because it's on Sunday nights, and students who are able to come because it's on Sunday nights as well. So since we're talking about transitions, let's talk about transitions. We have the proteges. We have Kelly and Maddie, who both were in FCMA during 2017. They completed their first year of FCMA, and we did a hybrid thing with them to bring them on as the assistant directors of FCMA, and that was absolutely amazing. It gave me and Melanie the ability to jump back in the driver's seat with youth and FCMA, and it just has been absolutely amazing. With them doing that, it really gave us the opportunity for FCMA, for us to watch over FCMA and youth at the same time evenly. That said, we have a new system, a new design of the way we run our youth ministry for volunteers and leaders and so on. So there's 3 levels. There's volunteers who are task-focused. They come in and they might do check-in, they might do pancakes, they might do one thing, but what they're doing is they're focusing on the task. And this is helping tremendously with getting things done in youth and making the environment that much better for the students who are coming in, but also it's giving adults who don't have the time to fully invest, but it gives them an opportunity to invest. Then we have the leaders who are exactly what you would think. They're the ones who are investing into the youth students inside and outside of youth environments. Then we have the directors, and this is another new one. The directors are people who have stepped up to the level of taking and helping us recreate systems. And as they recreate systems, we're We're finding ways to do what we're already doing, but to do it in a way more efficient way and to a way where it's more plug and play, and we are doing just to the extreme. The who's and the cons are the ones who have stepped up. The who's and the cons are amazing, and to be honest, their investment has been completely transformational for the way that we do things now. Now that we have had a lot of changes with Foundation Youth Movement, but God has a plan, has had a plan every step along the way. We somehow have maintained 20 to 30 leaders consistently. I believe we're actually over 30, but 20 to 30 leaders, including volunteers, it's over 30. But as long as I can remember, and again, been here a very long time, and we've had that many leaders consistently investing into youth. Wednesday nights, we have 4 small groups. They're called D teams, they're discipleship teams, and we have about between 8 to 20 students. They all vary in each one. So we're like 60-some% discipleship of people that come on a Wednesday night or a Sunday morning that are in the small group atmosphere. Sunday mornings we're running approximately 80 students at second service, and then Sunday nights we're between 80 and 100, somewhere in there. We have on youth, whether it's in youth or outside in their schools, but we see and hear about people getting saved. We hear and see people getting delivered on a regular basis. We have testimonies of people telling us things that happen in their school or in their home all the time. The beautiful thing about it is that the students are not necessarily attending a youth group, but they truly are becoming a youth movement. Like you see this thing growing, and you see them becoming this youth movement. In 2018, we are refining the process to a new level of excellence, from worship, to bus ministry, to outreach, greeting, follow-up, and everything in between. Every single thing that we're doing, we're going to the brand new levels. We're just laying it before God's feet and giving it back to Him. We're getting close. We're getting connected, rather. We're getting connected to schools. We're getting connected to the teachers themselves and loving on our community and just doing outreach and reaching out and doing that as a way of life, not just when we get together. Really, in all reality, we are partnering with them. We are partnering with the students of Foundation Youth Movement. We're partnering with them to impact our community for Christ. We are building a generation that is actually leading us. Our dream is to do everything in excellence now so that when we build this youth facility, we are prepared to do exactly what God wants to do in it.
Life. It's the collection of hours you spend on Earth. It's what you do with those hours that makes you who you are. What you focus on each and every hour defines what you become. What does it look like when someone takes an entire year, 8,760 hours, to focus on what defines them? Spending days, weeks, months dedicated to one pursuit. What do people look like when they push forward just to see who they can become in a year? The Freedom Center Ministry Academy is for someone who wants to see who they can become if they take that year and intentionally invest in what will define their life. Imagine what it would look like if you took a year and devoted it to the sole purpose of transforming your heart, your mindset, and your future. What would it look like if you dedicated yourself to furthering the kingdom of God and to the continuous renewal of your mind? What does it look like to invest a year in humbling yourself and serving others with no expectation of recognition or reward? To spend hundreds of hours in prayer and to memorize hundreds of Bible verses throughout the year? What does that look like? It looks like continuously redefining your best. It looks like committing to be bold, learning to forego all your fears in exchange for a surrendered life. It looks like setting new standards of excellence and methods of serving. It looks like being a part of a team that never gives up, that perseveres together living in unity. It looks like dying to yourself and coming alive in Christ. Overcoming your flesh while igniting your spirit. It looks like a completely transformed life. It's leading yourself well.
FCMA. In FCMA in 2017, we had this 7 people started FCMA, and 8 people have actually graduated FCMA. 5 of the graduates have done a second year. 2 of them are actually on staff now. Nick Kelly and Maddie I talked about, talking about foundation. The other 3 are the ones who are doing a second year. They're writing our missionaries' letters. They do all the paperwork for most of the mission trips. And one of them is producing our services every Sunday morning and every Sunday night and everything in between, to be honest, with the intent of reproducing themselves, creating these systems that are going to further the kingdom in every way, shape, and form. The graduates, on the other hand, the ones who did 1 year and they said that was all I needed, that's all God's calling me to do. One of them is actually in Idaho with Pastor Adam. Many of you know him. And he's interning, just felt God said, go serve Adam for 1 year. And that's literally what he did. He laid everything down, picked up, and moved to the other side of the United States. And one of them is in Nepal. One of them is investing right here at TFC. In fact, he actually made this presentation for me. Thanks, Trevor. Trips, we go on trips. That's one of the things that we do in FCMA is we do guaranteed 3 trips throughout the year because we feel like on a trip that's where bonding really takes place. And this year we went to Phoenix for the Dream Conference. We went to last year, 2017, Phoenix for the Dream Conference. We went to Mexico on our missions trip, and we went to Idaho for our 4th consecutive year with Pastor Adam, who actually does a very intense custom conference for us specifically, and it just is mind-blowing every single time. For outreach, we do all kinds of things. Every month, FCMA helps with the Hope Center, Clara's Hope, Carriage Town, Promise Village, Freedom Friends, and every single week we're here at the Freedom Center investing here, and we go out to Fenton, do outreach here, and then we go out to Flint and do outreach there as well. Promotion, we do everything and anything, and really we just kind of create a presence of servanthood. We don't want to go out and just say, hey, join this thing, because we don't believe that FCMA is for everybody. So we go out and we just kind of do whatever God's called us to do and be who God's called us to be. So we help a lot with the Michigan Assembly of God and everything they do, from Fine Arts, which is coming up very soon, Fajola Camp, Lost Valley Camp, production. We've helped build, design, layout, the entire youth convention. We're constantly going out and just trying to be a light, whether it's within or going out. 2018, our goal is to develop our students into the world changers that God says that they are. That's the big goal. That's what it is. We want them to see exactly what God sees in them. January, we went to Tennessee on a trip. This year, 2018, we went to Tennessee, Georgia, and North Carolina, and we did a retreat, and it was absolutely amazing. May 2018, we're getting ready to go to Japan to do a missions trip. September, we will be going for our 5th year with Adam for our custom conference. And our dream for FCMA is to one day have housing so students can have a housing for second-year students. That's it. Thank you guys so much. God bless you. Love you. I love you. I love you.